Hello, everyone. It is Emily from Dallas Moms, and I am very excited to introduce you to our new partner and my new friend, Katelynn Cotton. She is hanging out with me today from Happy Baby Night Nurses, and she and I are going to talk about a very important topic and one that kind of gets overlooked, and that is the importance of the fourth trimester. Hello, Katelynn. Welcome to Dallas Moms.
Hello, Emily. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat today.
Hey, so we are going to tackle this topic, but before we dive into that, can you tell us a little bit about Happy Baby Night Nurses, kind of what y'all do, and like how in the world are you even equipped and qualified to talk on this subject?
Okay, great question. So, Happy Baby Night Nurses, we are a registered night nurse company. So, we provide overnight support for newborns so mom and dad can sleep. So, mom and dad are hiring us so they can get a great night of sleep, so they can wake up and be the best parents, be the best spouses to each other the next day, and really enjoy the newborn stage. So all of our RNs have neonatal clinical experience. So we only hire mother baby nurses, L&D nurses, peds, and NICU nurses. And they're all background checks. They all carry their basic life support certification, CPR. Many of them have more certification like PAIRS, PALS, NRP. It's all listed on our website. So you can read about all of our nurses on there. And our nurses just love this tender season. It's such an exhausting season to the parents, and they just love being that added support to the family.
Yeah, so you definitely have day in and day out experience with walking with moms through this fourth trimester. And we're kind of tossing that term around. So maybe we should sort of start with defining the terms. What is fourth trimester? What does it mean? What does it include, cover, etc.?
Yes. So the fourth trimester, it's the 12 weeks after birth. So it's really essentially the most exhausting season of a mother's life, I think. And it's the most intense season because, the baby was in the womb for 9 months and now they're out and now they need around the clock care, while mom is also healing from birth, experiencing a massive hormonal drop. Learning to feed a newborn, whether she's nursing, pumping, that's very demanding on the body, running on broken sleep, and then just having to navigate this new season of life of being a new mom. Maybe she's adding another child to the family, and she already has a large family. There's a lot of factors that play into it. And I think there's a lot of great resources that are so helpful that can prepare moms for birth. But the fourth trimester, it also needs just as much attention because it really sets the tone for everything. So, like the mental health, physical recovery, breastfeeding success, marriage stability, like I could go on and on. It really sets the tone. So, you should not overlook, how you're going to go about your fourth trimester, is my advice.
Yeah, and I think that our parenting culture has definitely evolved over the years. I mean, my oldest is just recently turned 15, so it has been a while since I was just entering that phase for the very first time, right? And if you're a mom with multiple kiddos, that phase can look really different when you also have like a young child or a few young kids that you are still having to care for while you're going through that fourth trimester. Um, you wrote an article on Dallas Moms. I have notes, I'm cheating. It was titled Postpartum Recovery, Why Support in the Fourth Trimester is Essential for Mothers. And I would very much say that maybe my own personal experience and kind of what I see culturally, I do think there has been some increase in discussion about postpartum health in the fourth trimester since I was in that spot 15 years ago. But the point I'm trying to spit out here is our culture very much has a like just grin and bear it kind of mentality, and also a very individualistic approach to parenting. Like, kind of that communal notion is lost in our
Mhm.
present culture. Like, what would you speak to that, or what have you seen, like maybe in other traditions and other cultures that maybe do a better job? What have you learned and tried to apply?
Yeah, absolutely. So in other cultures, a lot of times mothers are surrounded by a village and extended family. They really care about feeding the mom nutrient dense meals, like all the meals are prepped and given to mom in bed, and mom is encouraged to stay in bed and rest as much as possible. And several cultures actually practice a structured 30 to 40-day postpartum confinement period. So where mom is supposed to stay in bed all of those days. I mean, to me, that sounds amazing. And others will take care of all of the household responsibilities so she can just focus on her baby and resting, recovering, and healing from birth. Now, in the US, it's often like, here's your baby, see you at your 6 week checkup, call us if you experience any baby blues or postpartum depression. And we've really normalized exhaustion and getting a badge of honor for doing it all. So, our company's belief is it's okay to hire help and to be a better mom if you hire help. Whether that's overnight nurse support like we offer, or getting a house cleaner, or getting a nanny to help with your older children while you focus on yourself and the baby. It truly does take a village. And I think, families in the postpartum season, we just want to support them so that they can just show up as their best selves during the day.
Yeah, and I just want, like, when you're saying those things, it makes me wanna, like, put in a plug there. Um, for moms who particularly are about to go through this season or in the middle of this season right now, that you have got to love yourself and give yourself some grace. This notion that, like, our current parenting climate has, that you're supposed to be the end all be all everything Wonder Woman, supposed to be able to do it all, getting up every 2 hours, to pump or to feed, or, while you're recovering from giving birth or a surgery, or in just a huge disruption to what your previous schedule was, like your routine in your life. um that that isn't normal. Like, it
Mhm.
is okay. Like, it is overwhelming. You should not have to grin and bear it. And it's okay to ask for help and
Right.
to organize and look for resources that can support you. They will not, like, be this little, that long. They
Right.
will sleep through the night. This is a short period of time, and don't have the guilt about getting some type of help or support. And, like, just have some freedom about that, and, like,
Mhm.
love yourself well as you are walking in these new days of motherhood.
I couldn't
um
agree more with you.
Yes, that is my message, because, you sort of pointed out too that, um, this 4th trimester is kind of, it's a little bit of setting the tone of, like, what your
Mhm.
motherhood journey is gonna be like. And of course, you can change and you'll make adjustments and it will evolve. But if you're buying into the notion that exhaustion is just to be expected and you can't do anything to, help that or relieve that, or asking support for that is not okay, like, that
Mhm.
will keep feeding into your life from even when you have 15-year-olds. Like, you have to make boundaries, um,
Mhm.
to protect, your exhaustion levels, your energy levels, boundaries for taking care of yourself. So, um, I know that there has been some more discussion about sleep exhaustion and such within the 4th trimester, and how significant it can be to the mom's mental health, but also her physical health. What kind of information, do y'all have on that topic? Like, why is sleep exhaustion such a big deal?
Truly, it's a form of torture, I think. But sleep deprivation impacts cognitive function, emotional regulation, milk supply. Your supply can tank if you're just running on really low sleep. immune system healing, anxiety and depression. Like it really takes a toll on everything. And sleep is a foundational medicine. So when we give a mother 8 to 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep, everything improves, mood, bonding, recovery, all of it. So yes, sleep deprivation, it is a big deal and it shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yes, I remember when my youngest started sleeping through the night consistently, and that took because she was so small when she was born, she
Mhm.
didn't sleep through the night consistently until 5 months because she was so small, she had to be fed in shorter intervals for a longer amount of time. And I had younger kiddos at home too. And so, when she slept through the night, I was like, there isn't anything I can't do. Like, I can conquer anything. I can tackle any board meeting. There's no proposal. There's no challenge you can give me that I cannot tackle because I
Right.
had a full night's sleep. So, when you were saying all that, it made me think of kind of my own personal
Yeah,
experience.
and that is so funny because when my baby started sleeping through the night, I actually had the nurses help with sleep training because I
Mhm.
had them up until around 12 weeks because we were just on the mend and she was sleeping longer stretches and then there was a regression. So I was like, wait, I need you guys to come back. So once she was sleeping through the night, I was like, new energy unlocked. Like I kept saying that. Like I'm like,
Yeah, no,
who
it's
am
like
I?
it's like a new level. You're like, I can do anything.
But also, like, I can't believe, like, I was ever functioning before
Right.
on little sleep. Like, it's night and day,
Right.
truly.
One thing too, when you're talking about these types of services, I think
Mhm.
some people can feel nervous maybe about having people come in their home, feeling nervous about, judging what kind of mother they are or how clean their house is, or does their nursery really look like a Pinterest pin or HGTV? Like, what would you say to the mom who may feel a little bit of anxiety or nervousness about inviting people into her home?
We have a lot of anxious and nervous moms. This is very new to them. Maybe they're a first time mom, they've never even been around a baby. So they're just looking for that additional education and support, but they are nervous about handing their newborn over to the nurse. And I will say, all of that is alleviated when my nurses walk in the door because they are so warm and fuzzy. They do not care what the house looks like. Some of them will clean your house. That is not in our job description, and I don't advertise that. But sometimes moms will wake up and the dishes are done just because our nurses love to just go the extra mile. But none of that matters. All they care about is mom going to sleep, getting a great night of sleep, supporting whatever feeding journey she's doing. Is mom wanting to nurse baby? Okay, the nurse will bring baby to the mom in the bed so mom can stay in bed the whole time, take baby and tend to all of baby's needs after. Pumping, same thing. We'll take her pump parts, her fresh milk, take care of all of that. If mom is formula feeding, she can just sleep the whole night and all of the bottles will be prepped, washed, sterilized. So their mission is just to make sure mom and dad are resting and that baby is taken care of and everything is documented. So the nurses will give mom a debrief and dad a debrief of how the night went in the morning, and everything is charted every hour. So they know exactly when baby's last feedings were, diaper changes, if they had bowel movements, gas, how many pee diapers, all of that. If there was any fussiness, they document the temperament of baby. So they really do feel like they were with baby all night, but they weren't.
Yeah, that's great. So, what could, like, if a family was wanting to consider this, what would the process be for them to kind of connect with you? What's the process of getting it set up? How does all that work?
So they can go to our website or they can give us a call. So our website is happybabynightnurses.com. They can see all of our nurses on our website, read their bios. But if they want to inquire, they can go to the contact form, and then they would fill out, their ideal start date. We have families that book us in advance when they find out they're pregnant or in that second trimester is like truly the best time so we can reserve the right amount of coverage. We do fill up fast. Our calendar does fill up 60 to 90 days in advance. but we always do our best to take those last minute requests. We get a ton of send help now SOS calls. I am exhausted. I have a 2-week old. I haven't slept in 7 nights. Can you please send someone over? And we do our very best to staff, but we can't always based on what's contracted at that time. But yeah, that's the first step, is going to our website, inquiring, and then we'll send them more information.
I would think too, like another hesitation someone might have would be about like the cost of it. I know I had even had those hesitations sometimes with having house cleaning services, during, times, whether it was a fourth trimester. I can also think of another time when we had an unfortunate death in the family. And I have found that those services are often not as expensive as I have wrapped up in my mind. And as well, when you think that you're only going to be using those services for a short amount of time. Um, Also thinking through like these types of services, support services are great gifts. If
Yeah.
grandparents wanted to provide that as a gift, or your college buddies wanted to get together and provide this type of service as a gift, like there are a lot of ways to kind of make it work for your family. What kind of options do y'all see in your clients?
Yeah, we have a lot of grandparents who gift it as like a baby shower gift to the parents. We have I've had a group of moms get together and pitch in to help out their mom friend. We see that all the time. We can do gift cards. We are private pay. We don't take insurance. So we can do gift cards. That is absolutely an option.
And what would you say? Okay, I have two more questions for you. Um, I know you spoke about this a little bit at the very beginning, but I would think like I've tried to think about what would all the questions be if I was the one kind of looking for this service. Maybe one of the most important questions, and you did touch on it, but would be about the safety and the vetting of the people who would be caring for my little one. What's the process for that like? And how is it that we are able to kind of like match with someone that we're comfortable with?
Yeah. So, who you're matched with depends on the amount of care you're looking for. So, some of our families book really heavy. We've had families use us for 7 nights a week, 6 months, until their baby is sleep trained or sleeping through the night. And then we have families who book, 2 to 3 nights for a few weeks, just as needed, just to get a little bit of relief a couple times a week. So, there's a couple of factors that go into booking who you're matched with our nurses. So one is the amount of coverage you're needing. Because our nurses, most of them work at the hospital, they are part-time with us. So it is very common to have a nurse rotation. And also, it's not feasible for one nurse to do 7 nights a week because these are awake shifts. They do need a break. So the most our nurses will work is about 4 nights a week, you'll see. So it's very common to have a couple nurses on the rotation. If it makes a family feel more comfortable and more at ease, we can hop on a greeting call. So I can have all the nurses on and they can introduce themselves, talk to the family, get to know one another. And then, that's a great time for mom to tell the nurses what she visualizes her night nurse experience to be. We already get all that information on our intake form that the family fills out, and we give that to the nurses. But that face to face is just an added touch, and it's great. And a lot of times it makes the mom just feel more at ease. And I think that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that is yeah, that is great. Well, we will include, like I said, we'll include a tag to Happy
Okay.
Baby Net Nurses. We'll include the URL so it's just easy to click in kind of the caption below. And we will also include a link to the article that you wrote for Dallas Moms. And it goes into a lot more detail. It
Mhm.
has a lot more links that you can click if you're really wanting to kind of dive into this topic. So, but thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk about the fourth trimester and talk about all the things that Happy Baby Night Nurses offers North Texas parents. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you
see
so
you
much for
later.
having me. All right, sounds
Yay.
good.
Bye.
Bye.